Hi there, I'm Kristy Gazes. It's me again. I'm playing at the Kristy Gazes table at FullTiltPoker.com. I'm playing, my game is $1-2 pot limit Omaha high-low split, which is the sickest poker game possible. Other than deuce to 7, no limit, this is probably next in line because it's just a newer game. People don't really play it that much. I mean, it's new. I've never played pot limit Omaha before. They built the table online for me. As a lot of people, pot limit Omaha, as a lot of people haven't in this game, so that's why it's so good. Because these are newer players, mostly no limit hold'em players, and we're playing a game that virtually nobody knows how to play. So that's pretty sweet. Hopefully I can get my money in really bad like I usually do. In this game, what you want to do, like for me, I am an expert. One of my best games is Omaha high-low split limit. And so I've made a very decent living. That's probably my winningest game of all time, my cash game records. So when they offered this game online, I was like, this is a new little thing. So here I'm in a pot right now. I have nothing really. I have a gut shot and top pair, but I'm just going to bet the pot because I'm heads up with a guy. Let's see what he does. A lot of times, when I first sit down, I'll ram and jam a lot. See, like he's got something, I'm just going to fold here because I just want to give him $4 basically. But like. When I play this game, people say a lot in Omaha split that there aren't a lot of bluffing opportunities. Well, I beg to differ. In Omaha high-low split, there are tons of bluffing opportunities. When there's paired boards, when it comes to high cards. I mean, obviously, depending on how many people are in position and whatnot. But this game has a lot more value, especially even at the 1 and 2 limit, than say even a higher limit game, even up to 3-6, you probably can make more money playing this game, just because there's so many nuances that we just quite don't know yet. Plus any split game is sort of it brings out Omaholics. It brings out the Omaholics, and once you get the Omaholics stuck in the game, it can be very sweet indeed. And obviously, I'm one of them as well. I love Omaha. But I think it's kind of a disease for most people. Here's a pot. This guy's got, he flopped 3 kings, whatever. Let's see what we got. Let's try to make something happen. Come on, we got position here. I don't know. This hand sucks, but I have position, so I might raise with it if it comes to me. We'll see. I may raise because I can help myself. And hopefully after I, finish this session, I'll be able to have enough full tilt player points to buy my arms in the store because whoever built my avatar didn't seem to, find it fit that I have arms. And I also need some other cosmetic surgery done to my avatar. And also, sorry guys to bring all these requests, I really like to get rid of my milk mustache. Because every time I play, somebody says, got milk. This guy raised in front, we're just going to call him just to be goofy. I mean, don't try this at home, kids, unless you know the game split. This is not a great hand, but it is double suited. And it has high-low possibilities. Obviously, we're not drawing to the nuts in either hand, so we're gambling. We flopped 2 pairs. We're only against one guy, and he checked us. He might have 3 aces, but you know what? Let's just see what he's got. Let's bet the pot. He's calling. Now we got this hand's, we're counterfeited with the 8, so hopefully he checks again. He's going to bet. He's probably got 3 aces, so I have to fold my hand here. That's probably the synopsis here. I have top 2. I don't have a low draw anymore. Well, I have a low draw deuce with the 4, but 33 is just not enough. I really don't think my 8s and 9s are winning right now, so I have to fold. He bet too much. I think in Omaha high-low split, people, you should really, when you start to play this game, you should open up with, obviously you want to play hands that have scooping potential. You want to play, obviously the best hands are like ace, deuce, 3 double suited. Also ace, deuce, king, king. High hands and low hands, but hands that you can scoop with. Obviously, when they tell you to play split, you want to obviously go for the wheel as the best hand to be drawing to. That's, that's as you first learn. And when you learn the nuances of the game, you can open your game, hence start playing the higher cards, which are, I think, more difficult to play for most players, high hands. But in the pot limit, I haven't really played it enough to figure it out, but it certainly seems that the high hands that go up in value, and that's where I've won my biggest pots in this game, are with the high hands. So again, like I said, it is newer, the pot limit part of it, rather than limit, quite different. In limit, you always have the odds call, but in pot limit, it makes it a completely different game, and obviously much bigger than $1 and $2. but this is a great forum, you know, at Full Tilt. They put these games out there. I think Full Tilt was the first site that spread this game, and now they had an event last year at the World Series for the first time, just from it being on Full Tilt, because people love it. Because every hand you have something. Damn it. Every hand looks good in Omaha. But that is a trap that, as a player, you really don't want to fall into when you first start playing Omaha Split, because you get 4 cards every hand, and every hand does look good, and you always flop something. So when, you know, if I was to, you know, teach somebody how to play this, I would say, you know, keep your starting requirements to the low and, you know, suited low, wheel draws, and then maybe open up your game a little bit by playing, you know, I always play kings in the pot limit format, you know, unless it's like a huge raise or something. Obviously, I'm probably going to take most heat in the $1 and $2 game because I'm gambling more than most players. As they appear. I just talked about kings, so we're going to raise it up here. We're up front. This, you know, obviously we only have kings. It's Omaha again, but you know, they love calling me so, and I love the action. So let's see what. Hopefully, we'll flop something here. Nines. We always seem to flop 2 pairs. I'm not crazy about this flop because it has a wheel draw and everything. I could check it or I could bet it. Sexy Sabrina, I play against her a lot. I may check here only because that opponent pretty much is on to me at this point in the juncture. She bet. I'm probably going to fold my hand now. The only logic in folding, it's heads up now. If the other guy called, I may have folded, thinking that, you know, they both have the draw surrounded. But here I'm going to call because I have top 2. Now, obviously, that's not what I wanted to come. She probably does have an ace-3, but now I have a double draw. I have 2 pairs and hearts. Tens, again, like I was explaining to you, kiddos, you always have something in Omaha. Do I want to play good or do I want to play bad this game? She's pretty crafty. You know, at this point, really, I'm drawing for half the pot. It's really up to me, or so I think. I'm pretty sure that this person has a low hand, but I have to say to myself, do I want to gamble here? And I do. So I'm going to call $30. And boom, I hit the flush. I'm going to check it. Obviously, there's not really any reason for me to bet my hand here, but I will call. If she could have ace-3 of hearts, and I could lose my whole stack here. Again, I'm gambling. However, I am probably winning on one side of the game, which I am, just like I said. So again, kids, if you're going to play these hands, tread carefully. Get a little knowledge about high-low limit split to begin with. I would suggest that to anyone who's going to delve into playing pot limit, to try to become like an expert at limit games before, or actually learn the fundamentals of limit, because obviously it's better for your bankroll and for your mental well-being. Because if Omaha high-low split pot limit is the first game you ever learn to play, then you will be a degenerate for life probably, because it's so addicting and so sick. It's just it's one of those kind of games. It's obviously my favorite game because I have that like love-hate thing. When I talk about it, I get excited because I like it so much. But you know, it's one of those, I love it but I hate it. It's like a brutality at its finest, as most high-low split games are. And again, with high-low split games, pot limit or limit, you can play, they are the 2 poker games that you can play perfectly all night and hit 3 bananas in a row several times and have a losing session but still play perfect. This hand is a piece of cheese, but I'm going to call it. Because the reason I'm calling this hand is because I have the 3 paints. Again, I like to play for the high flops. If it comes rainbow, I probably will flop, you know, if it comes to, I could flop top 2, I can make a straight, and it's very easy to get away from if it comes low. So. And it's only $2, for God's sakes. Everyone's got $2. Come on in. Come on, fish. Let's go. See, again here. I'm check folding here. Obviously, in Omaha, when you flop a pair of aces with the king kicker, and there's 2 lows, it's not the same power as other games. Hold'em, you have squat, basically. In Omaha, like, you don't want to be in there with the hand I just had, the ace-king. When it comes ace-7-5, you have no low. You have top pair and a king kicker. You have nothing, basically. Sometimes maybe heads up, you'll get lucky if you call down like a chump. But that's probably a losing play. No, it's definitely a losing play overall. So that's another thing that players need to remember when they're playing split is when you're in there and you're drawing for, you just try not to make a habit of being in there withdrawing for half the pot, like playing too many high hands when the low's out there already. You know, obviously if the pot starts to swell, then you know, obviously you got yourself too involved. Sometimes you got to do it. But here's an interesting flop. It's interesting for me. I have a pair and a straight draw, but I do like the high flop. However, I have a million opponents. But I probably, if it's checked to me, will bet the pot. And somebody will probably check raise me. Well, so now I can't even call. This dude bet. And I have a pair of 10s and a gut shot, which is nothing. So we will fold. This is interesting. This guy, I mean, he could, obviously with this flop, if he's called or raised, he's probably tied or, beat with a draw. Somebody could have king jack and hearts here. Remember, again, with Omaha, when you see boards like this, when you flop a straight in Omaha, it's always very vulnerable, so you want to power it. If you had the king jack here, no backup, you definitely always bet the pot. Another thing in Omaha split that I see people do in this game all the time is slow playing. Like, yeah, if you flop quads, you can slow play it. Yeah, but, a set is vulnerable. A full house is vulnerable unless it's top full house. Even if it's top full house, I mean, that's kind of being very tight. But I've lost the other day with kings full to quads. I mean, it happens much more commonly in this game. So you do want to just sort of, take that into account when you play split. This hand, again, I'm in there with a piece of cheese. In position, any two will do really in this game for me. Basically, plus I like to play a lot of hands because, I could bet here, but I'm not going to because I don't really want to be that sick, and I'm already stuck like $31, and it's making me kind of mad. So I'm going to play a little bit tight until I get at least an ace in my hand, then I'll call again. These guys, who knows what they have, maybe up and down, low draws, all kinds of goodness in here. Obviously, I have squat again. So. This is a good form to learn. It might be higher for most people, but they do have, I believe Full Tilt has, even, 5 cents, 10 cents in this game. And that is a great, obviously online is the best way to learn any poker game nowadays because you get so many more hands. This hand, I like to have, I usually just call it, when I have a deuce three, like 3 babies in the hand, I like to see the flop. But then again, I like to see the flop and everything. It's funny in this game, which is so bizarre, which I don't really suggest, is the little, when you limp and then somebody min raises, it's almost like an annoyance, but whatever I want to do. Here I flopped a little bit of something, a little something, something. Again, when I just have a low draw here, a 6 is not really, I don't consider that a high hand in split, but, tread cautiously with this many players in. I mean, I am last to act, I could bet it, which I probably will, because that's just how I roll. But a lot of times it wouldn't be terribly incorrect. Actually, there's sexy Sabrina behind me, my nemesis. If you're watching this, sexy, I know you're a guy. I know you're not a dude. I know it, okay? I know your name is not sexy. You're not sexy, and you're not Sabrina either, all right? You're a fish. That's all you are. And you're laughing at me always because you're taking all my money. Anyway, sorry. Poker's not personal, though. Let's see what happens here. Maybe jadalism? No? See, a lot of times, hopefully, maybe one time. Anyone? Hopefully, yep, we just got it with air, so power of aggression and gamble a bit. I don't know. This is cheese. This is, even I won't play this hand. That hand, 4-4 king 8 in Omaha, there's nothing. You have the worst of the straight, the king 8, a pair of 4s. I mean, the only time you like it is if you flop 4-4. So, that hand 4-4 pre-flop is terrible. 4-4 king 8. There's just nothing. And a set of no 4s is no good because usually there's another low and you're dogging it. It's almost always going to be bottom set. And again, in Omaha split, you don't want to be in there. Like say in this flop, say that I had pocket 3s and no low with it. Basically you flopped a set, woohoo, a lot of Hold'em players would think that. But basically when you flop bottom set in Omaha, you're always dogging it. You got to be very careful. And another mistake that players make in split is they overplay 2 pairs. Like 2 pairs is not a huge hand. Maybe if you playing 2 pairs that are high, like paint, it's a decent hand, but not, here we go, we got a little something. With these kind of hands up front, I want people in, so I'm going to raise it a little something. I'm not going to raise the pot because I'm early, and with such a big low draw, such a monster, I would rather have them in. Obviously, I raise too much. Sometimes I will limp with these ace deuces up front, and if somebody comes over, I'll just, I'll call them usually. This game's playing a little snug right now. I flopped, pretty good. Top pair, which is, again, not much, but heads up. Obviously, it goes up, and I got the nut low draw and a backdoor flush draw. So, again, ooh, look at, he wants to gamble, and I will call him because I have the low draw and the spades. And now I really like my hand. He has $3 left, so I can't really go crazy, but hopefully I will hit our spades, too. He flopped a set, so we got the low, and we're going to, we scooped it because we made the straight, too. He's going to probably say something rude to me, but that's poker. And all you anonymous people online, I know where all of you live. I just haven't got around to getting to your houses left yet. That hand, obviously, again, it played itself. I got lucky and got the straight on the end. But is it luck or not? I had a lot of outs to the hand. Again, in Omaha, you always have a lot. You're looking for hands where you can scoop both ways. You're looking for the low with the straight possibilities. One of the biggest problems I see in the split game is people overplaying ace-deuce, though, naked ace-deuces. There's a huge difference between a naked ace-deuce and an ace-deuce with another baby. In a higher limit game where there's more experienced players, which isn't always the case, but usually, as you move up, a lot of times you may want to throw away ace-deuce pre-flop, because if it's just like an ace-deuce, king, 9 or something, it really is, maybe not a king, but ace, jack, king, no straight draws, just a piece of cheese hand, ace-deuce, 7, king or something. It's just not a great hand. And most of the time, a lot of times when you're with experienced players, you're going to get an eighth of the pot, and you're going to be in the, you don't want to be, having these bad habits of getting quartered and getting eighths a lot. You want to play two-way hands if you possibly can. Here we go. We got aces in the blind, which is actually another interesting hand that is another one of the most misplayed hands in Omaha, pot limit, high and high-low. Here we got some limpers. I'm probably going to jack it up huge so I can isolate. Hopefully, I probably won't isolate. I'll probably get everyone, but I'm going to raise the whole pot if I can here, because I just want to play this hand heads up. So, because with all these players in, you would think that both my aces are probably gone. Sexy Sabrina's going to call me because she loves me. He loves me. Sexy. And Robbie might call because he only has $32 left. No, he's going to get out of there. Southern Sun, come on, buddy. Okay, here we go. I'm not, there's sea at the river, basically. If they have ace-5, so be it. Sexy Sabrina's going to have to pay me. I have the second nut low and spade draw. I'm probably going to go, I could check here. There's two ways to play this. Against this opponent, the safer way would be to check call, which is what I'm going to do. Or I can go crazy and bet it again. If she bets, she probably has the ace-5, but I do have to call because I have the spade redraw, and I have the second low. So again, I missed, and here's where's decision time. They check. I do, we split it. And no, I three-quartered her. So we had almost the same hand. So again, careful, careful. No need to go mad. I could have played that hand more aggressive if I wanted to and gone mad. Again, I play with this player. There's a good chance, again, they could have the 5-6 or the ace-6. So I could be winning. I'm most likely winning one way, plus I have the redraw. So there's an argument with that hand to play it either way. You could just, put it all in on the turn if you like, or play it more conservatively and just check, the river. Again, if Sexy Sabrina would have bet on the river, she would have put me to a tougher decision. But obviously she was afraid of me. So here, Omaha, you always love something. I got a nice little and a little and a little In other words, backdoor low. Backdoor low that's uncounterfeitable at this time. I'm going to fold, obviously, because I'm not that lucky. Well, maybe I am. Damn it! But obviously, you don't want to be in there high flop. If we would have seen the turn, we missed our flush anyways. But I had a 6 high flush draw, so in Omaha, that's usually not good. And the guy flopped the joint, and it stayed good, So in Omaha, what I spoke about earlier a bit is, a lot of people get married to the naked ace-deuce, meaning ace-deuce without another small card. And you really want to be careful and aware when you're in a multi-way pot of, the possibility of you getting quartered, or, meaning getting quartered means basically you and two other opponents you and at least one other opponent has the nut low. And so then you can get 8th or even 16th. If everyone has 8th deuce, you can get really, really, if you know what I mean. So when you first start to learn, be aware and mindful that if you're playing with other players who are newer players as well, everyone gets involved, automatically when they say ace deuce in Omaha, they're like ace deuce or aces. Again, same thing goes for aces, not with quartering, but when you do have aces in pot limit Omaha, it's still only a pair. So, don't overplay, don't go mad. If you have it with babies, obviously you're going to, at minimum, see the flop. But, tread cautiously because, again, in Omaha, you know, usually when the board's paired, somebody does have a full house. So this is a tasty little morsel. I like this hand so much, I'm going to raise the pot. I just love these kind of hands. They're disguised, they're funky. You can make wheels easily. People never put you on wheels. 3-wheel cards, double suited. Deal me in. Again, when you first start playing, careful, careful. You know, and as you get more hands in and more practice, you can play these kind of hands more aggressively. Obviously, when you get heads up, or if a guy came over the top of me or something, it's very hard to call because I have a 10 high basically. But you know, then again, I'm an expert player. I know how to get rid of it after the flop, or maybe not. I know how to give them all my chips, all my profit. But that's my decision. I'm playing because I know how to play after the flop. Again, with any poker game, should try. Again, here I flopped a gut shot straight draw and a pretty bad low, so I'm going to check it. And again, the power of aggression in poker. I got the free flop because I raised pre-flop. They both called me. Now, you know, I got a free ride at the turn by only putting $9 in there. So a lot of times it's good to raise pre-flop, as we know, and re-raise. And these pot limit games, especially the smaller ones, you know, we got a lot of short buys here and stuff. And that's another thing about playing cash, any cash game. My suggestion to do is always buy the maximum, or always buy, like in a pot limit game, I can buy in for $200. You know, if it's over your head, you can't afford the $200. Get into the small game where you can buy the max buy. In a pot limit or no limit where there's a restricted buy-in amount, always buy the maximum. Chips or power. It's a psychological edge. Plus, if you get involved in the big pot and you have $30 on you, like, you know, it's, you know, wouldn't you rather have 600 than 90? So really, it's just a winning mentality overall. When I sit down in a live poker game, if it's limit or no limit, I always buy 2 racks right away because I really like to have the power in front of me. That's a thing I have with tournaments. I hate having that little stack in front of me. But now I've gotten used to it where I like literally have let it go so much that I just sit there with like 1 big chip all the time. And I will continue this session in a later video. See ya.